This is quite a big problem in the Indian community. Just some stats to paint some context. 72% of gang members identified in Malaysia are Indians. There is a total of 28,926 Indians identified as being gang members. And we have the highest rate of gangsterism in Malaysia. So why is it that gangsterism has such a... I mean, why do we score such high rates in gangsterism as opposed to the other races?
This is I think it's basically, number one is ignorance. They think by watching the Tamil movie, the heroism, that the way they depict someone who's with a muscular, who can fight 5-6 fellas, at one go. That became part and parcel of those who really watched the movie from such a tender age. And they idolized this character, and then it became part of their ambition to be someone like that. And then for petty things, they become, kind of angerful kind of person. And then they adopt this kind of bravery for a wrong purpose. I think that's where they lead. And also, they still have this mentality in the 70s, 80s, where gangsters kind of like many years ago, before we have a very good comprehensive rule of law, we have a good set of good law enforcement agency. Then the gangster at one point of time, they rule the certain places. I don't want to say whether it's rural or urban. And then the community look at them for protections many years ago, not anymore. So that, I would say, that epidemic, or rather a kind of like a disease, continue in our community, and especially a rural area.
But is it fair to, oftentimes I hear this similar statement whereby we blame Tamil movies for it. It's not like the Chinese don't have movies that depict gangsterism. The triads and all that are very much depicted in even in Hollywood movies. We have the Russian mafia movies and all that. We aren't the only film industry that produce movies with gangsterism as part of it. That's one. Number two is, when some of the books that I've read about the Indian community, gangsterism is not something that they get in. It sort of depicts this picture whereby gangsterism is not something they get in because they want to, but simply because they have to, because of the levels of poverty among certain communities within the Indians. Wouldn't that be more accurate reasoning why they joined gangsterism?
No, I disagree with you, because I come from the place where gangsterism is so prevalent, the place where I grew up. I don't want to mention that place has changed now, but still it's infested with those kind of ideology.
Infested, okay.
All right. Okay. So I think it's not that per se. It's the DNA of our DNA. I'm talking about, we have the particular community from the rural area, then suburban, then urban. And I come from urban. But the place that I come from, they really worship this gangsterism at one point in time. It's kind of like a protection for your family. When you are in a certain area where you have one or two brothers who's so kind of like, so brave enough, your family is protected. Nobody wants to bully you. But that became later part of life. I mean, in certain family, became that someone will follow the traditions. And then the recruitment started to take place till today. They start recruiting in all this place.
Young.
And then they want to show that, hey, look here, you got to be fear of me. And then they go around and worship that fear, kind of like bravery, not for valor, but it's something like, I'm untouchable. I think that is a kind of a superstitious feeling they have.
Yes.
I think it's no longer there.
Yeah.
The law enforcement agency is coming hard on them, and I think we should change. We should change.